In the course of navigating my own emotional landscape, I've found ways of relating to it. I'd be inclined to analogize this to a series of physical skills, differing ways of relating to the landscape. I recently had a fantastic conversation with a chap on this very subject, about the differing ways of physically engaging with one's landscape. And we were talking about parkour and climbing, and well, and in the course of that, we both said confessed that one of the things that we had found most amusing and engaging about parkour is that someone had come up with a name for something that we had already been doing, but that the real key was that this was a different way of that these kinds of motions, ranges of motion, offered a different way of connecting to the buildings or the rocks or the trees around us, that we had not just a different physical connection with them, but a different emotional connection with them. That they represented something different. That a particular configuration of steel pipe or concrete or stone or trees or branches, to us, because we could connect with them in that way, would mean something other than they would mean to somebody who didn't have that connection. We can look at something and think, okay, this is how I would move through that terrain. That's a handhold. That's a jumping point. That's where I can vault. That kind of thing. And this is very much like some of the ways that I respond to my emotional landscape. This came up recently in talking with a friend about depression. And the key of that conversation was the notion that depression is contentless. That when one is is drowning in dark moods, the idea that first, that experience is necessarily entirely negative, and second, that there is nothing to be gained from observing it in oneself, nothing to be gained from sitting in a depression and looking at the depression itself. Now, one of the characteristics of depression is reduced interest. And I have found it profoundly helpful in managing my own to focus intense interest on the depression itself. To look at those dark moods as if they are a dark landscape, a forest at night. And many of the things in that black are frightening, and I should be frightened of. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't possibly contain some beauty to be found. That there aren't aesthetic experiences, personal revelations, or quiet beauties that I can find there that would disappear when the sun came up.